Welcome into another production of What the Grit LLC. We have here a very special day, reading of Chapter 1 of the introduction of What the Grit, The Suffering We Need, a book by Paul Anderson, edited by Lisbeth Sanchez Arce, illustrated by Cormac. Chapter 1. Let the growth begin. Permitting yourself to grow. You don't just wake up being the best. Beat that into your mind until you truly submit to the idea you have to actually work when you want something. You must plan it and bring the fire of your being to the world. Even though no plan survives the first step into battle, planning is there to help you adapt when things hit the fan. In Armor Tank School, I was taught the 5 P's of planning. They are: prior planning prevents poor performance. Everything always leads to chaos. That is the nature of the universe. You need to craft a grand plan to ensure your success. Once you have a life vision, goals that support it, and a plan of action, you must work backward and identify what it will take to accomplish each step. Sounds simple enough, right? To be honest, these are only fundamentals. This is where you start the journey, and there is no end. There is no end. How do we approach the current difficulties of life when all our plans may fail? What happens when our vision is put down by the world? We win 1 inch at a time. That is how. If you are better today than yesterday, then you are moving the sticks. The key is to stay consistent and make good behavior necessary for yourself. Generate your own thoughts. A lot of people make the daily choice to only think what they see and hear. You must generate thoughts of your own to do what you want, when you want, and how you want it. My theory is that most people's perspective of history is limited to the experience communicated by their parents and grandparents. 50 to 100 years. To go beyond that, you must read and study, practice scenario history, and learn to untangle the propaganda that is inevitable in all telling of history. In fact, history has been stated to be a pack of lies agreed upon by the victors. In a nutshell, I would fail a paper at university if I didn't compare at least 2, if not 3 opposing views on a topic. Taking one telling of events as gospel doesn't wash it in the comparative analytical method of research. If you decide not to think for yourself, you will never control anything in your life. Results are all that matters. Think for yourself. Take the step now. The first step is to permit ourselves to grow. We often do not do this. When we do not enable our own growth and improvement, the world will do it for us. We then have no control, and chaos thrives in our lives. When I say permit, I mean scheduling time to work on a new skill or enhancing your surrounding environment for learning and performance. Also, I mean taking care of ourselves rather than becoming a mess. In my own case, I had to imbue myself with certain truths about what I am. I am human, flawed, mortal, and seemingly strange anomaly in the universe. I made myself into a learner, leader, lover, writer, and speaker. I have been permanently maimed physically and have entered emotional purgatory, crawled through the 7 levels of hell, and discovered the opposite of our tortured human spirit. I could have wasted the rest of my life and had every excuse to do this. Still, what would that accomplish? Life could end now, but instead, because of my zealous conviction to be open-minded and voracious or absolute truth, I proved anyone can grow to their full potential. Your decision to change will irritate the people around you. This will need your attention, and in later chapters, I will explain how using emotional intelligence skills can help you gain the support of others you require. Remember what I said in the preface of this book. Life is better together. The reason I am here now, writing this, is only because I have already saved people from disastrous decisions. I want you to have solace with life. If you passed away now, what would people find you left behind? Think about what you want to leave behind in this world, because our words are usually all that is left of us. I wanted what was left of me to be something positive, and I have been determined for over a decade to achieve it. In effect, this has been written to help the world give every human being the opportunity to learn, grow, and love people. Honestly, it has been done to show my gratefulness for life itself. I dream, I pray on my knees. I would give my life if every man, woman, and child can live to their potential, no matter the outcome. This dedication to my vision of building something so beautiful and necessary for the world will always guide me. Love your enemy, do the most challenging thing, and go for the extra mile that your old self will not bother to walk. The path is treacherous and full of unfortunate events, but nothing can stop you if you believe. If you remember on your way there that the human will is much stronger than any disaster that may strike you, then you will be just fine. Set the bar higher for yourself and work harder to achieve your dreams. Becoming versatile and adaptable. Unlike other officers, I had 3 very different specialties in the military: Cavalry Scout, Logistics Officer, and Human Resources Officer. This is highly rare for someone as young as I was because of how much education the Army requires for every specialty. This opportunity forced me to learn by fire hose. I would study training manuals and regulations at home, the dining facility, during special holiday moments, and in the car. I had to make sacrifices to serve this nation. I did this until I could quote the books, quote the regulations. If I did not learn fast, I would have never been named the #1 Human Resources Officer in the 7th Infantry Division, an award that continues to humble me. When things got complicated, when others undercut me politically, undermined my leadership, played power games, and tried to destroy my reputation, I worked harder to prove every single one of them wrong. Furthermore, I would have been unable to do the job if I did not work as hard as I did. I had multiple management jobs that required high level of technical skill and excellent leadership ability. These things are not said lightly. I could have been reprimanded or removed from any of my positions at a moment's notice for a single mistake. For most of my career, I had a job that would require 4 people to do. I was even laterally promoted to a position that generally requires 2 officer ranks higher, a major position. Because I built expert power acquired through the use of expert knowledge. I will show you how you can do the same in anything. Still, this will only be part of the journey. Subject knowledge can never replace the ability to be a servant leader. You must be able to console those in the darkness, even if that means you acquire great hardship in the process. The days were long, the years were short. Many do not know this, but the Honorable President Obama conducted a drawdown in the military following 2012 called sequestration, which forced many officers like me to take on more and more responsibility they could handle. These policies, along with lower pay raises, pushed many excellent officers out of the military. Regardless, I would not have become the person I have without these challenges. That is why I am discussing it here. I want you to think about how you can challenge yourself to stretch out of your comfort. If I did not have the chance to fail as big as possible, I would likely have never lived up to my potential. Or at least, it would have taken much longer. Accepting this challenge and achieving it will stop the world from taking away your life. You must demand more of yourself than ever thought possible. You may not have an external force like I had that pushed you to your limits, but there are other ways to find a way to dig deeper without external sources. Still, there are only 2 ways through which you can change. Either something comes from the external world, or it is generated from inside. This book is about making it necessary for you to generate that change from within. There is no shortcut in life to reach your highest potential. By the end of this book, you will know how to show the world that no matter the odds and how deep you are in the darkness, you will know how to never give up. Whose fault was it? It is time for all of us to stop bickering about our mistakes. Instead, we need to own our mistakes and move forward with real solutions, no matter how much we disagree with the world, to help solve humanity's problems, even if it means one at a time. We must choose to be humble first, listen, and then act. This is why it has become necessary to tell this story. Keeping it inside has been very painful, and even though I have fallen in love with writing, I have found it to be the most challenging thing to translate my experiences and knowledge in a way for all of us to grow together. There are many obstacles in our way, but the first one, and always has been, is our individualistic nature, ego. Nothing splendid has ever been achieved alone. Tell your ego this. Knowing this should embolden your activity toward real solutions together. This act is necessary for us to give back to the world that has given us the support we need to become. We cannot allow ourselves to chance our fantastic opportunity to change the world. Even though I use the word support to explain my gratitude, it did not initially feel like that. This is because support could be demonstrating a truth we do not want to hear. No matter how you feel today, you can be sure, yes, certain, that we all are capable of prosperous lives. Section: The Suffering We Need. Confronting our demons. Together we must break the normalized dysfunction caused by modern society. The truth is, nothing remarkable happened in the world by being cozy and comfortable. People are afraid of being well or healthy, and therefore never go too far when confronting our own demons. We naturally understand this truth. Still, you are capable of doing just that. Even if you are not capable, or at the moment, still, you are capable of doing just that. Even if you are not capable, or at the moment where you must make the critical decision to grow, there is no better time than now to make that decision. This is the struggle we need. I have been fortunate to have the opportunity of experience. I want that for you. The bottom line is that we all have experienced much to be alive right now, and you must honor this in your daily life. We owe the world, whether we want to accept it or not, acceptance that we are here to serve each other and assist us in our journey by giving us purpose. Serving sounds at first to be a poor way to achieve your goals. In fact, it might sound like slavery to some. In later chapters, I will even explain how this can feel like oppression for the powerful. Succumbing to service may sound like this, but it is really far from it. You might ask, how do I achieve my goals by serving the world? This is what I asked at a very young age because it just made zero sense. My father and mother always said it, but I didn't understand until I served this country. Sometimes we need to experience significant emotional events to see clearly. Through life experience, I have found that denying your soul the need to serve always leads to a painful departure from what we are. That is why part 1 is dedicated to accepting transformation. In the depths of depression, we may not be capable of escaping ourselves. We must then crawl our way out of the chains of our own darkness to find the light. I know what that is like, which is why my purpose is to give you this knowledge. The only way out of the funk you find yourself in is to accept the suffering we need. If you want God's honest truth on how the extraordinary became their best self, then this is it. They aimed for the highest good they could articulate, made themselves the best they could live up to. Their character's sheer force proved to be sufficient to enable them to reach their full potential. I realize that applying knowledge from a book to our lives is much easier than it sounds. This is why this book is meant to assist with your development and not to help. Help is doing things for you, and assistance shows you how to walk through the door you thought was always locked. Humanity needs your soul. Trust the process. Never deny you are valuable, unique, and capable of generating the love our world so urgently needs. Do not put your beautiful life in the world's hands. Grab a hold of the reins before it's stolen away. To do this, you need to stop hiding your mistakes. They will always find you and destroy your light you can bring to the world's darkness. We all have secrets, but our illness is only as sick as our worst secret. Let it out. Embrace the consequences and live your truth. Making mistakes is okay. We are human. Tell the truth. Love and forgive yourself and act. What does honesty have to do with service to others or self-improvement? Everything. You will always do more for others than yourself. And we think we protect people when we lie, but we do not. This is also why we cannot stop lying. The truth is, when we lie about our mistakes, we hurt ourselves and others. We do not serve others this way. Taking ownership over those mistakes is how we change the world. That is why being your best can be achieved by serving. This is our happiest state, to bring service to the world that needs us. The life you imagine is superior to what you have because you do not embrace what it means to live. Life is so much more than hedonistic happiness. The reality is that you only have two choices: embrace life in all of its terror or fall into its darkness. The crisis we face. There is a crisis hidden in plain sight. Our fixed mindset. Most of us believe we are the way we are and will never change. Most of our ideas pertaining to how we learn and how we think about ourselves are wrong. In almost every area of life, a fixed mindset runs rampant, destroying the potential of millions every year. Why are we all so negative and not trying to assist each other more? I think we're all too caught up in getting what we want or what we feel entitled to. The truth of the matter is, the better our neighbor does, the better you do. We deny this truth when we slight our neighbors and bring down the community with angry tweets. Repetition of this thought and others like it are required to become your best self. The ideas we implant into our children live on and burden the future of the world. Anyone can contribute to making the world better, yet a virus that says you are meaningless and have no worth continues to spread. This problem pertains to the question humanity has asked itself for the eons we have existed. That is, how are we to live? The next 100 years will likely shape humanity for the rest of our species' existence. I believe we are living in the most critical time in human history. We are at a crossroads that will forever be implanted in our history as the moment we chose to love or hate. This is why we all should be motivated to do the work needed to achieve our potential and serve the world for the better. To do this, I believe we must begin defying our most innate human nature, the nature to procrastinate and be lazy. An essential point of our time is that humans have generated a normalized dysfunction through technology in this so-called modern age. Unknowingly, we have also generated a cycle of toxicity that must be broken for humanity to reach its full potential. Achieving our goals. I've always wondered what we are willing to do to achieve our goals. Through experience, I have realized that we are capable of more than we choose to believe, even horrible and terrifying things. Luckily, the question that started this book requires an individual answer, meaning only you know how much you are willing to do to achieve your goals. Sadly, the answer to this question appears to have a twofold twist. First, every individual is not currently capable of doing what it takes to achieve their goals. Research clearly shows that even though many are incapable now, anyone can become capable. Still, this is not just because of our limitations we put on our own abilities, but also the beliefs we hold about the world and its people. Furthermore, even though examples of the answer can be found in the stories of extraordinary individuals who grew themselves are not very helpful in our daily battle against the entropy of the universe. For example, why on earth would you need to know that General Patton led the Third Army into battle against the Nazis and won, even though they had to travel arduous terrain without food? The thing is, you do not need to know that, but instead, you need to know how he was able to do that with a learning disability. How did he motivate himself when the world discounted his every action? How did he continue to strive for excellence when no one believed in him? The truth? He was an uncompromising alpha male, determined to achieve historic feats at any cost. Patton's extraordinary ability to persevere was actualized in the world because of his unwavering commitment to his vision for a better world. Regardless of what you think of his ability to empathize with others, we can still be in awe of his deeply profound conviction to change the world for the better. We all need more Pattons worldwide and fewer bureaucrats that set up inescapable societal systems of poverty. The good news is that your mental abilities are malleable. Carol Dweck calls this a growth mindset, but that term is misunderstood by most as staying positive. Let us be clear, a growth mindset does not mean staying positive. Further unfolding from the question about what we are willing to do to achieve our goals is a secondary issue. If a person realizes through their action the only way to know for sure, they are willing to do anything to achieve their goals, how then do they act ethically when they are one step away from achievement but face a moral quandary? What if they or you have already performed unethically in a moral quandary to accomplish your goals? How do we put it behind us and make better decisions now? What if you were 1,000 feet from the top of Mount Everest? Think, it is your chance of a lifetime. You've struggled for decades to get here. Then suddenly, you had to make a choice to save someone's life or get to the top. Do you have the ability to change course and risk your self-identity for another human being? We might believe so. Yet, what if that person you needed to save was no one you ever knew? What do? The only way to really know the truth is to venture toward our goals and meet the decisions facing the rest of our life head on. Not meeting our call to see the bigger picture can have devastating results on the human soul. The actions we take will follow us for the rest of our life. We must get comfortable with the bad things we have done and the decisions we must make in the future to be who we really want to be. I have the belief all of us will be tested by the universe, or have been tested already. I am about preparing you to act at that moment and never regret the decision you made. Can you make the right decision? As we continue, tread this question carefully. Never be convinced you will make the right choice. We all never know until we are tested. Often, we are at our weakest when we must act. Countless examples in history show humans can be convinced to do the wrong thing, We need to have the courage and character to say no to these evil forces. Proclaim to the world that we will choose to love and not hate our fellow humans. We must be ready to make that decision that move the humanity community forward. This is why I push myself to the brink of exhaustion almost every day. I must be ready to carry the world that falls into disaster. I believe that you need to be extremely honest when assessing your own capabilities. Without that honesty, you will not be able to understand how to grow. This honesty to yourself builds the foundation that enables you to fulfill your purpose. The kind of honesty I call for is vital to your improvement. Be completely truthful with yourself and you will gain clarity on how you must move forward. What are we doing with our days? Are you truly charting a path you wish to live, or just following the blind like everyone else? Part of making better decisions involves building an ethical ground that never lets the world get in the way of achieving your highest aspiration regardless of circumstance. The difficult lessons I have learned in life and leadership have taught me that we must pass the wisdom we have obtained through blood, sweat, and tears. If I do not, then my life has been a great folly, for this is the only way I know how to serve the world the best I can. The hope is that the lessons I explain can bring you a form of solace for the most demanding times that have passed or will come to pass. Your development and growth as a person are absolutely paramount. This means being blunt, and that could feel harsh, but what I explain is not easy, which is why it needs to be done. We should not stand idle when there are problems for us to solve and people to assist, especially when the person we should help the most is ourselves. Today is the day we must look into the mirror and ask, am I going to make the world better? You live your answer. There is no option. There is no plan B. There is no one else that lives your truth. No one is coming to save you. Live life well, or never truly live. I sincerely apologize for the pain you feel, but if you let go and bring love back in, your generosity can change everything for the good of humanity. We all can take advantage of the science behind human malleability, even if we have no idea what we are doing. The fact is not a gimmick, meaning we can make it an automatic response to the world. My expertise in this has been developed over 12 years of leading in large and small organizations. Now, as CEO of my own company, I know the kind of humility we require to truly live to our potential. The opportunity to grow through incredible hardship of leading and preparing soldiers to go to war has proved we all can be more than we think we can. Working 24/7 for years while ensuring the health and welfare of every man and woman put in my charge has taught me how you can achieve your full potential. Concerning our will, weakness of will involves specifically a failure to act on a resolution. This is sufficient to differentiate weakness of will from mere change of mind, and even from caprice, which is a different species of unreasonable intention revision. The human will has never been tested to the extent it is right now. The root of all of our problems is clear: weakness of the human will. Our will has been a severe issue throughout time, but now more than ever, it is causing people to get sick. Fast food around every corner, electronics ringing in our ears, distractions wreaking havoc, and the disease of human modernity is spreading farther than ever with television and the internet. There is no easier or more challenging time to live than now. Still, that should not be an excuse. The fact is that the rate of technology change dramatically impacts every facet of our society, therefore, directly or indirectly, developing us in ways we do not fully understand. Preliminary research has been done on the exponential technology advancement's detrimental effects, but much will be understood in the coming years. Given the circumstances we all face, do you want to leave your life up to chance? No, I do not think so. Still, you could always keep scrolling your favorite social media, or finally decide to improve and make your dreams a reality. Yet, where do we start the enormous task ahead, and how exactly can we prepare for the inescapable immense technological future? Sadly, there is no easy answer to this, and to give one lacks all wisdom, because we have never faced any time like this in human history that we know of. A new age dawns. We are at the beginning of something new, a new renaissance in the human experiment that could bring about an understanding of the human soul. This is why I am determined to explain how to improve yourself without simplifying our complex human nature. Too often we read books focused on a single topic. For example, a book may only talk about communication improvement or an ethical blind spot. Usually this leaves the reader wanting. I think these books have a place in our lives, but they rarely account enough for the nuances of the human condition. The crisis we face is more significant than just improving our mindset or a single skill. Humanity has become more than our flesh. Technology is now attached. Therefore, a simple book on improving our habits will no longer do. This book attempts to square the circular problems by showing a full picture of our present world. Remember, there is no single answer any person can give you to reach your potential. Therefore, take what is said in this book as just a viewpoint that can be adapted to your circumstances. The truth is not always what we hope it to be, but it can help us live a better life if accepted. The energy you are responsible for bringing into being is of vital importance. Even though you have this responsibility, others also have it for you. Knowing this can lead us to have unrealistic expectations of each other. Regardless, expecting the best from the world, but preparing for the worst, is what is required for you. Behavioral scientists are wrong when they say you can achieve what you want by changing your mindset. You will have to deal with people who are not attempting to grow whatsoever, and a change of mindset is not enough to resist the world's corrosive power. Furthermore, our physical health impacts how we think, act, and decide what is best for us in the long term. That is why I make a strong point about getting your body moving when you feel stuck. I have seen tremendous results for people that are in deep depression by just getting healthier. The lesson? We must not deny the laws of nature if we are to see the truth. Physics laws even say that a body in motion stays in motion unless impeded upon by an equal or more vital force. Let's make you that more potent force. I deeply understand that a healthy person has thoughts that an unhealthy person will never have. When we are unwell, we take more risks and often find ourselves in trouble. That is why you may not have complete control of your emotions. We can plant the seed that starts the progress required to perform at your highest. When the world tests your patience, you will prevail, because you know that you can grow capable of handling anything. When you open yourself to immense change, the universe's truth becomes evident. We are capable, and always have been, of bringing joy and love to the world. This is how we enable ourselves to fulfill our potential. That is why I beg of you to give yourself one last chance to be open to love, no matter how much you hate the world for what it has done. The fact remains you cannot control anyone, even yourself, but you have the potential to be open to the love and healing energy from others. If you feel used up and empty, let these words fill you with healing love that can blossom your truth in the world one day. You do not need to feel dirty, filthy, and messed up anymore. One day, you can be the joyous person you wish to be, and by being this person, you will make the world a better place. The first seed. Imagine the good you can bring to the world in the next 10 years. You might tell me you do not want anything else, or do not know what you want in the world. That is great, because that is where we all must start. Often others reject us for not having anything at the moment they ask us this question. Imagine how much you would surprise them if you did. If we are numb from a depressive state, how can we infer anything good yet? Take your time. Focus on improving one thing at a time. Starting small is not a feat many can accomplish. Change your thinking about the start by explaining to yourself that starting small is how we all begin our growth. Does the world's greatest Olympian wake up with the skill required? The answer is a resounding no. Then you should not expect excellence from yourself until you've demanded it necessary. Trying to take on the world from physical and emotional helplessness will only lead to overwhelm and complete failure without significant support. This is where we must start and crawl out of the depths. Still, you can get past all the horrible things that have happened in your life by remembering you are the only one that sets the limits to what you can accomplish through intensive practice. Our attachment to the worlds of things, or the world of items, does not lead to human prosperity. Honesty about our human issues with our material objects helps us understand ourselves and then the world. This understanding shows that you can be enabled to become your best self, fulfill your potential. The state of the world is the direct consequence of the decisions of all of its people. If this principal assumption is accepted, we can face our crisis head on. That is why I will do whatever it takes to assist individuals in achieving human excellence, which is the only thing that can bring about positive cosmic shift for humanity's future. Accepting the first principle to improve every individual's soul makes evident that the individual's wiser decisions will inevitably lead to our human species prospering. No matter how clear this may be, the task cannot be solved with one book, and that is why I need your assistance. No matter how obvious it is that your improvement will make society better, it is easy to discover discard that fact when the world does not cooperate. That is why I directly address this by planting in you the seeds of necessity throughout the book by telling stories about how you can bring the best of you into the world. If you want to bring about the change you wish, you need to know a few things up front. The journey will be long, arduous, substantial, twisting, and joyful. We must always be quick to remember that there is so much more to life than happiness. It is a fool who does not embrace the pain and hardship while finding peace and gratefulness in life. We do not know how long we will be here. Maybe only another 100 years. Perhaps we will be gone without notice. Our life is unpredictable. Nothing in my life has ever mattered more. I have not always been correct. I have been and can be impetuous and impatient. I have rushed into things without knowing what the hell I'm doing. We all must learn and remember the fragility of our lives. Our life is at a moment we will never return to. We are all at the train station, set to embark on a dream that we have only begun to fathom. In my experience, the amount of grit you have is intrinsically linked to your ability to apply the idea of malleability to your life. Proof of this can be located in Chapter 3. Human malleability is the belief you can improve at anything because you are always becoming and changing. Your brain and how you think of the world have been proven to be malleable throughout your entire life. This is your real superpower. I am not a scientist. I am a leader and a keen observer, and I know how applying the idea of malleability to your life can make everything better in time. I have witnessed soldiers grow into beautiful people throughout their careers. You can become something you don't believe possible. Intelligence can grow. You are lied to when you are told it cannot. One stupid action or many do not make you stupid. Stupid is not trying to improve and being humble enough to accept it's not anyone's fault. Remember, you are capable of much more than you can see right now. And blaming or coming up with reasons will only detract from what you need in your life. I know this because I used to not be very intelligent, but through burdensome work and the active choice to personally grow every day, I became the person I thought my future best self would be. When I was unintelligent, the world laughed at me. For the most part, people do not believe that intelligence can be developed, and this can be a very painful experience. The real reason for this problem is that it is very difficult to become more intelligent. Often, we need help from others, but without others believing in you, this growth can be almost impossible. I believe in you. If I teach you anything, it will be to visualize a new future for yourself. I envisioned mine and worked for it every day. Every correct decision is a fight for your future self. Proclaim to the world that you will do the work required. There are always doubts. We all have weak moments. Own these counterproductive actions and learn so that you do not impede your movement going forward. Hesitation kills in the game of life. There is no other time to act but now. Those who do not believe in your potential do not need matter. You can choose to improve each day and forget about everything else. Make it necessary to silence the voices, especially yours. I became someone who no one thought I was capable of becoming. You are talented too. I promise you with the most sincere heart, thank you, and I wish all the best for you as you continue through the rest of this book. Now, right now, you have permission to believe in yourself.